All right, if you've never watched a triathlon before, stick with me. Trust me, this will be 100% worth it. Because you see, this Saturday on a small island in the Mediterranean, 3 Olympic gold medalists who've won the last 4 Olympics between them are finally going to race each other. Something this big rarely happens in the sporting world. And let me explain that a little bit further. Because Jan is almost 42 years old, Alistair is 35, and Christian is 29. And in sport, that's basically 3 different generations, with each one of these guys being unquestionably the best in their era, and even more so, they were dominant. Jan won the 2008 Olympics and then changed to long course triathlon and absolutely changed that game forever. He won 3 Ironman World Championships during that time, including 2 70.3 World Championships. Alistair won both the 2012 and 2016 Olympics, and in the process changed short course triathlon forever, and nobody's ever come close to doing what he used to do in the short course distance. And then Christian, the youngest one, has now entered the scene faster than any triathlete has done before, winning the Olympics in Tokyo and also the Ironman World Championships in the same calendar year. That is really hard to do. He's also part of a young generation of up-and-coming triathletes who truly are changing the sport, but none of them have really gone against the might of Jan Frodeno and Alistair Brownlee. Let me make this race a little bit more relatable for those of you who might not have heard of these athletes before. It's basically like if in basketball, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was going up against Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Or if in tennis, it would be as if Roger Federer was going up against Pete Sampras and John McEnroe. Or in soccer, it would be like Cristiano Ronaldo. Okay, you guys get it. I'll stop there. But let's make it even more dramatic, as the level of professional triathlon is probably more insane than you'd imagine, with the top swimmers, bikers, and runners being so remarkably good that they could compete individually in all of those sports. For example, Alistair Brownlee ran a 29-minute 10K at the Olympics after the swim and the bike. A cyclist named Cam Worth, who's going to be in this race, actually races for Ineos Grenadiers, and there are other guys who are just as good as him, if not better, riding in this field. And then also, the swimmers are holding about 109 per 100 meter or faster, which is just an absurd pace to be doing before you hop on the bike and then go for a run. So don't think triathlon is a weaker sport because it's got 3. In fact, these guys are the closest thing to superhuman as you'll ever see, because they train upwards of 40 hours a week to put on these levels of performances. And what makes this race even more special is that these 3 should have raced so many times before, but something's always come up. For example, at last year's Ironman World Championships in Kona, Jan Frodeno and Alistair Brownlee pulled out because they were injured. And now this might be the last time ever that they all 3 get to race each other, because Jan is getting pretty old and this will be his last full season. And then there's the fact that there's $100,000 for the winner that the PTO is putting on. And by the way, the PTO is this organization that is putting a lot of money into making triathlon a global sport. So keep an eye on this sport. And then lastly, there are 25 other guys who are going to try and beat these 3. And there could be a massive upset because nobody really thinks someone outside of these top 3 are going to win. This race in Ibiza truly runs out of superlatives, and I think it's going to be one hell of a showdown between the 3 possible GOATs of the triathlon sport. To watch the race, there are so many different places to do so. I would just Google it. It's also here on YouTube, and I'll put a link in the description. And these are the times that it's being shown. It's a late Friday night for some of us here in the States, but if you can't stay up, make sure you come back here and I'll tell you all about it and show you the highlights. And if you can and you want to know what's going on during the race, make sure you head here as well, because I'll be doing a live watch along and we'll break down the race as it goes along. And that's it. I hope you guys have a really good one, and I hope I've given you some excitement for your weekend. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.